Hi guys, I'm Yasmin. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Diamondback. I'm here with our sports editors and football writers, Connor Letourneau and Josh Vitale. We're here to recap this weekend's loss against Georgia Tech. So Josh, what do you think of Sean Petty's first college start?
It was a little bit of a mixed bag. Obviously, some struggles were to be expected, and he started off really slow. He was 1 of 6 for 1 yard in the first half. Came on, a lot better in the second half. Finished second half 7 of 12 for 114 yards. Overall, 9 of 18 for 115 yards. Had 2 touchdowns to Stephon Diggs, an interception and a lost fumble. It's a mixed bag. He didn't rush that well, even though they ran a lot of running offense. It wasn't a bad start for his first ever start after being a scout team linebacker 2 weeks ago, but it wasn't a great day for him, obviously.
Connor?
I think pretty early on it was clear that this wasn't going to be a fairy tale type situation. I mean, it was really all you could really expect from a guy in his type of situation. As Josh said, I mean, he just started taking snaps at quarterback 2 weeks ago. He was a high school quarterback, but really completely different game at this level. And so early on, he really struggled. I mean, in the first half, only 61 total yards of offense, 1 yard passing. And they just really couldn't move the chains at all. And then the second half, he seemed to kind of get his feet under him, seemed more comfortable, made a couple nice plays, those 2 touchdown passes to Diggs. But, it is very clear that he's not going to be, he's not going to set the field on fire with his passing ability. So I don't think there's a lot to look forward to there.
Yeah, and this was also the Terps' worst defensive performance so far. Why do you think that was?
Well, I don't really know. I mean, I was personally kind of surprised with their performance on Saturday, given the fact that they entered the game 4th in the nation in rushing defense, and they allowed 370 rushing yards. That's 111 more yards than their entire offense was able to put together. So, I mean, they really struggled out there. And, Joe Villano said after the game that he felt like they just didn't really match up well against them. They've always kind of struggled in past years against the triple option for whatever reason. But it was definitely disappointing. And, losing linebacker and leading tackler Demetrius Hartsfield in the end of the first half definitely did not help.
Josh?
Yeah, it was not a good day for them at all. I mean, their previous high rushing yards allowed was a little over 150, and they give up 370 on the ground against Georgia Tech. And I think a lot of it was the defense maybe trying to do too much. Edsall kind of hinted at it at the end of the game. Joe Villano also said the same thing. Edsall's preseason season, do your job, just do exactly what you're told. And maybe with a struggling offense and having to really truly stop Georgia Tech if they wanted the chance, maybe they're trying to do too much to make a play on defense, maybe opening up too many holes, letting them run for too much, and just didn't work in the end.
And given all that, how would you grade the Terps' performance?
All things considered, it wasn't a horrible day. I would give them a C+ for they out there. I mean, losing 33-13 isn't anything good, and giving up that many rush yards isn't anything good. But to have a linebacker starting at quarterback, to score 13 points, and do enough to not look totally embarrassed at the end of the game is good enough for a C+, I think.
Connor?
I'm usually a bit more positive than Josh, but today I gotta go negative. I'd give them a C- for their performance. Yes, the offense was in a really tough bind, and you can't really fault them for struggling, but they did struggle even a little bit more than I thought they would. I mean, that first half was one of the worst offensive halves I've ever seen in football. I mean, they literally could not do anything. So that was, I felt disappointing, and then the defense was extremely disappointing. I mean, I don't think anyone expected them to struggle the way they did. So overall, I'd have to go with a C-.
Thanks for joining us. Check back Friday as we preview this weekend's game at Clemson.